I'm Roy, and this is the story of owning and sailing my Moody 31 yacht, Mistress Q. Based at Instow on the North Devon coast, it is the highs and lows of cruising in the Bristol Channel and beyond, where every passage is a new adventure. There's always time for one more sail before Mistress Q comes off the water for the winter, and I'm catching the last of the evening tide with just enough water to get into Clovelly, even if my arrival will be after dark. Clovelly is only 12 miles from my home port of Instow, but the picturesque village and historic fishing harbour is one of the jewels of the North Devon coast, and highly recommended if your boat can take to the ground inside the harbour wall. Give it a try. So, after a really good night in Clovelly Harbour, I slept at 0700 this morning. It's now around about 20 past 7, and we've got a strengthening easterly wind, force 3 to 4 later on, and sailing quite steadily, heading towards Lundy. I think Lundy is going to be too rough to go into the anchorage, so it's possible that I'll go around to Jenny's Cove. So that's it, another season. Mistress Q is off the water, on the boat park, and the first of the winter storms has already blown through. So now this is the quiet season with a whole list of boat jobs to be done over the winter. Nothing too major, but just when you start writing the list, you think of more and more things that you would like to do. So some of the bigger jobs planned for the winter are to completely get the boat rewired, as it's been needed to be done for quite a while and is a disgrace. And with that, also get some solar on to help power the fridge when I'm off grid. Apart from that, it's routine maintenance and start to look forward to a next season. But before we do that, I'm going to look back on this last season, which has been strange. There have been some highs. One of them was certainly getting my RYA Yachtmaster offshore, and some of the lows were the terrible weather we had during the middle part of the summer and towards the autumn, when sailing in the Bristol Channel was difficult at best. Anyway, let's have a look at the season over the past 12 months. First trip of the season is traditionally a shakedown sail to Lundy, just 20 miles from Instow, and an easy passage to complete in one day, or as I now often do, stay overnight in the anchorage. Lundy is 3 miles long and just over half a mile wide, with steep cliffs rising 500 feet from the shore. Owned by the Lundy Landmark Trust, the island is a nature reserve famous for its puffins and many other seabirds. The anchorage adjacent to the landing jetty on the south-east of the island is perfect for a night on the hook in favourable conditions and one of my favourite destinations. After a walk around the island, I motored around to Jenny Cove on the west side, where I anchored close into the base of the cliffs and was rewarded with several puffins on the water close to the boat. What a result! This was the first of 6 trips I made to Lundy in 2024, so I'm quite a regular visitor. Tenby, on the South Wales coast, is a popular destination, being just 40 nautical miles from Instow, but has a convenient anchorage at Lundy on the way, which meant I could use the necessary high tide on departure and again on arrival in Tenby, which of course dries out. With dolphins on the passage and a friendly harbour master ready to take my lines in Tenby, it was a great start to the May Bank holiday weekend. It was early season, and apparently I was the first visiting boat, so the harbour master charged me last year's rate, which included shore power and showers for visitors. The yacht club in Tenby is also very welcoming, but was busy as it was a sunny bank holiday weekend. The harbour entrance is narrow, and it may not always be possible to be alongside the harbour wall. But I was lucky, and the local fishing and tourist boats were very friendly, even when my boat drifted out into the channel on the rising tide due to my long mooring lines. There you are. Call me old-fashioned, but I think it's right that you should take the ensign down at sunset. Good night. I left Tenby at 05:30 this morning. Not much wind, just about 8 knots at the moment, and it's pushing us along quite nicely. Currently just over 4.5 knots through the water. Making our way back towards Instow, with currently now 28 nautical miles to run to the Bideford Bay safe water mark.
High pressure then builds from the west tonight, bringing drier and clearer conditions into Tuesday. Lands at St David's Head, including the Bristol Channel. 24-hour forecast. Northerly or northwesterly, 3 to 5, becoming variable, 3 or less later in evening.
And so, another successful adventure completed. Next, a delivery for Halcyon Yachts, a very nice Durfall 37 from Plymouth to St Helier. A quick walk around the yacht with boat checks complete, we were ready to slip from Plymouth Yacht Haven and head for Jersey. It's just after 0300 and I'm on watch for the next couple of hours. We are passing Guernsey at the moment with about 30 nautical miles to run down to St Helier. It's a very quiet night. We are motor sailing, there's very little wind indeed. Passed through the TSS just after midnight Since then, haven't even seen any shipping. Nothing on the AIS, and I can just see the lights Guernsey over to our port side. So far, it's been an excellent passage, and looking forward to our arrival in St Helier sometime around about midday tomorrow. Well, despite the distinct lack of wind, this has been an excellent delivery passage across the channel from Plymouth to St Helier. We've made excellent time and got into St Helier as planned, ready to clean the boat and hand the boat back to its owner, who, need I say, is delighted. Back on Mistress Q for the late May Bank holiday, and the plan was to join the Bristol Channel Yacht Association rally in Portishead. I was joined on this cruise by Andy, and once across the Bideford Bar, we motor-sailed against the tide the 15 nautical miles around to Ilfracombe to wait for the tide to change. Andy took the first watch, with me taking over at 0300. We're making really good progress up the Bristol Channel now. I can see the lights of Bridgend off to the port side. Andy's got his head down for 2 or 3 hours, and in the meantime it's an absolutely fantastic evening. Beautiful clear full moon, making sailing on the Bristol Channel really easy. Navigating the Bristol Channel for the first time and at night was an interesting challenge, but the passage past the islands of Steepholm and Longholm is fairly straightforward, using a combination of the chart plotter and navionics for confirming the bearing between each mark. As dawn broke, the Seven Bridges came into view, and we prepared for our early morning arrival in Portishead. At this point, the tide and engine was pushing us along at over 10 knots, with no room for error as we made the starboard turn towards the lock at Portishead. Thank goodness we secured Mistress Q with midship fore and aft lines on the floating pontoon, as the force of the water in the lock was something else. After waving to Matt on Forest Sun, we refueled Mistress Q to save time on departure and tied up on our reserve berth before exploring Portishead Marina and finding a cup of coffee. In June and July, I made numerous return visits to both Clovelly and Lundy with friends and family on board. My hidden agenda was practicing my sailing skills in preparation for taking my RYA Yachtmaster offshore exam at the end of July. My son Chris joined me as crew for the preparation passage in wet weather, but fortunately the day for the 12-hour exam on the water was fine, which despite the pressure of the RYA examiner on board went well. The exam was a success and made sailing even more enjoyable as family and grandchildren joined me during the rest of the summer. No drinking whilst we're sailing.
Only a skipper can.
Might you just hop out for a second, give me a chance to sail by Grandpa, then we get back to the slipway.
My final yacht delivery of the year in October was a Hunter Legend 41AC from Poole to Fleetwood. We had a narrow weather window to pass Land's End before crossing a rather lumpy Bristol Channel and then north up the Irish Sea. It was all going so well until we had a gale warning.
Here follows the new gale warning. Gale warning for Sierra Irish Sea, issued at 1550 UTC on Friday the 11th of October. Northwesterly, gale force 8 expected late.
The safe option was Holyhead Marina, or rather what's left of it after the storm damage of 2018. After a 12-hour stopover, we were able to complete our passage to Fleetwood. So after 5 days of sailing with 1 day in Holyhead to shelter from the storm, we've just passed the Westerly Cardinal, Morecambe, and about to start our final passage into Fleetwood. This has been a really enjoyable passage. We've had all sorts of weather, everything from sunshine, wearing shorts, through to the first icy chills of winter as we came north up through the Irish Sea. So the boat's being prepared now to go into the lock into Fleetwood, and then we'll finally clean the boat down and hand her back to its proud owner, Ben, who's just sitting next to me now.
Got the gate key on the chart table.
Thanks for watching this summary of my 2024 season. Join me again for another adventure on Mistress Q. Happy sailing!